Hello, today we're going to talk about intercultural communication. Intercultural communication is about how two people would be communicating and how they would be communicating would be based on their cultural differences. For example, in some cultures, they communicate by not keeping eye contact, and that is considered as a sign of respect. In other cultures, to have eye contact means you are giving attention. So that is just acknowledging that people communicate in different ways. What type of differences does this cover? Intercultural covers a number of differences. When we are talking of differences, we're talking of differences, for example, in relation to behavior, attitude differences, relation, relation to values, beliefs, gender differences, status. There is a number of differences that would come under the umbrella of intercultural competency. Today, I want to give you 4 tips regarding cross-cultural competence. The first tip that you can consider when you are interacting with somebody from a different cultural background to you, I would suggest use your observation skills. Observe how they are behaving. Observe how they are interacting with you. Try observe your body language and as much as possible, try and mirror and match the body language. In some cultures, people like to sit and lean forward when they are interacting. And if you lean back, you're giving a message that you are not interested, which they would consider as an insult. If you match how the other people would be behaving, then the rapport would be building, which then enables you to move on to common areas that are there for your point of discussion. Tip number 2, appreciate differences. Some cultures do behave very different, which would be considered in other cultures as rude. For example, if you are in Kenya, timekeeping is not important. People are fairly laid back and do not lay emphasis on keeping time. If you go to Germany, for example, if you are a minute late, this would be taken as an exception and might determine future business relationships. So here, just be aware of what is expected in terms of communication and appreciate differences. My third tip is when you go to Europe, for example, countries like Germany and Great Britain, people would communicate by giving facts, whereas in Italy and Spain, people would communicate by sharing a lot of emotion. In Japan, people communicate by building harmony, and in Kenya, people would communicate by asking family. When we're talking about intercultural, it is actually about being adaptable. So, for example, if I'm interacting with a German, I would be prepared that you will only ask me about facts and figures. So it would be good if I adopt to accommodate their needs. The fourth tip is that intercultural communication is very vital to distinguish between what part of a person's cultural background and what part is their personality. So when we just take a pyramid, we put human nature at the bottom of the pyramid, in the middle would be culture, and at the top would be personality. Finally, to sum it, important, the most important thing is to be very patient, as patients play a very fundamental role in intercultural communication. For example, when you go to see a doctor in Kenya, he would ask you, "How are you?" And the first answer would be, "I'm fine." But in German, for example, you get straight to the point. In Kenya, they would need a whole length of sentences to discuss their state of being. It is therefore important that you have patience or vis-a-vis you appreciate when the other appears not to give you the attention you would feel is needed. To summarize, intercultural communication is about acknowledging and respecting differences, their behaviors, their values, attitudes, their beliefs, or that things are done in different ways, and it is not meant to disrespect you in any way, and it's just how different people behave in different circumstances. Thank you.